Oof.
Guten Morgen.
I'll try to be very graceful. Please find your sitting spaces. Welcome this morning. It's our first Zazenkai of the year. 大祭下駄服無所不伝ね気分如来行行動諸修上 robe of liberation boundless field beyond both form and formless wearing the Tathagata's teachings, vowing to save all sentient beings. Dai Sai Geda Puku 無所不伝ね気分如来行行動諸修上 KINHIN Zazen. In Zazen, four things are essential. It rests on four pillars, if you want to call them that. Keep the posture, whatever that is. Breathe deeply and gently through your nose. Keep the eyes open and just let go of thinking. Ground yourselves in the reality as it is, and don't try to fabricate the myriad things. Just let the myriad things be what they are. Get out of your own way. Let's get up slowly. If there's any numbness in your legs, your backs, unnumb yourselves. Take care of your sitting space. We're gonna, as always, have our morning service. Because it's the first Sunday of the month, we're gonna do the longer service. So Kote will also chant the Sandokai, or the identity of relative and absolute. And then, as you know, we're gonna have a little talk in our usual monthly discussion. So hopefully you can stay for that. That'll be wonderful. Also, as I mentioned before, my body is not doing well today. So I'll be wobbling along. It's one of those situations where, please, you can follow my example and allow your body to dictate what you can do. Wobble along with me. It's totally fine. Kote, I did what you usually do when I lit up my charcoal.
Yes.
So I don't know if it's still working, but it doesn't matter.
It might still be warm enough anyway.
I don't know. I guess I'll figure it out in a bit.
Just disguise it as a professional incense offerer with fine incense. You don't want to have a hot glowing coal that would destroy the scent. So
Okay. And welcome to those of you that showed up before the second set. I imagine you guys got confused with the times. Oh, no, this is not good. No Buddha, no head. Okay. Kote, help. No.
yeah, no, a bit more Buddha, please. Yeah, if you bow very deeply, we will see your head.
Sir, I can't do this. I'm in pain.
It will be fine. I will not spotlight you.
Is that good?
Yes.
Okay. I will not be able to do full prostrations. I won't even attempt that. So those of you that can, please do full prostrations. Those of you that can only do deep gashos, do deep gashos. You know what we stand for here at Treeleaf. So just do the best you can and do it wholeheartedly. Good to go?
Makahanya haramita shingyo Kanji saibo satsugyo nanya haramita ji shoken go onkai kudo isaiku yakushari shi shiki fui kuku fui shiki shiki sokuze kuku sokuze shiki ju sogyo shiki yakubu nyoze shari shi se shoku sofu shofu metsu fuku fujo fuzo fugenze koku shumu shiki muju sogyo shiki mugen nibi se shinni mushiki shoko misoku o mugen kainai shi mui shiki kai myo yaku myo jin nai shi muro shi yaku muro shi jin mukushu metsuro mushi yaku mutaku imu shotoko bodai satai hanya haramitako shinmukege mukege ko mukufu Anri isai tendo musoku gyone hanzanze shobutsu e hanya haramitako takuwa nokutara sanmyaku sanbodai kochi hanya haramita Zedai jinshu, zedai myoshu, zemu joshu, zemu todoshu, nojo isaiku, jinjitsu fukoko, setsu hanya haramitashu, soku setsu shuvatsu gyate, gyate, hara gyate, haraso gyate boji soaka hanya shingyo. The identity of relative and absolute. The mind of the great sage of India is intimately conveyed west and east, while human faculties are both wise or dull. In the way there are no northern or southern ancestors, the subtle source shines clear in the light, the branching streams flow in the dark. To be attached to things is primordial illusion, to encounter the absolute not yet enlightenment. All spheres, every sense and field, intermingle even as they shine alone, interacting even as they merge, yet keeping their places and expressions of their own. Sights differ primarily in shape and character, and sounds in harsh and soothing tones. The dark makes all words one. The darkness distinguishes good and bad phrases. The four elements return to their true nature as a child turns to its mother. Fire is hot, water is wet, wind moves and the earth is dense. Eye and form, ear and sound, nose and smell, tongue and taste, the sweet and sour, each independent of the other, like leaves that come from the same root. And though leaves and root must go back to the source, both roots and leaf have their own uses. Light is also darkness, but do not think of it as darkness. Darkness is light, do not see it as light. Light and darkness are not one, not two, like the foot before and the foot behind and walking. Each thing has its own being, which is not different from its place and function. The relative fits the absolute as a box and its lid. The absolute meets the relative like two arrow points that touch in midair. Hearing this, simply perceive what is, make no criterion. If you do not see the way, you do not see it even if you walk upon it. Walking forward in the way, you draw no nearer, progress no farther. One who fails to see this truth is mountains and rivers away. Listen, those who would perceive the subtle matter, live well your time by night and day. Buddha nature pervades the whole universe, reality existing right here, now. In reciting the heart of the perfection of great wisdom sutra and the identity of relative and absolute, we dedicate our sincere efforts to Shakyamuni Buddha, Honored One, the historical Buddha and teacher, and to those ancestral teachers, Eihei Dogen, Honored One, Soji Keisan, Honored One, all successive Honored Ones up until Zuigaku Rempo, Honored One, and Gudo Wafu, Honored One, to all other Honored Ones throughout history, same yet diverse Honored Ones whose names have been forgotten or left unsaid. We also dedicate these efforts to the three treasures, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, to all awakened ones and teachers in all places and times. We especially seek tranquility and well-being for all creatures now suffering or ill in health. May they be serene through all their ills. May their lives be at peace and wisdom pervades the darkness of ignorance. We dedicate our hopes and aspirations to all victims of war and violence and natural events, to the injured and to all families touched by these tragedies, to the healing of hatred in all countries and among all peoples, to the wisdom and compassion of our world leaders, to the peace of the world and harmony of all beings. Thus let the harmful effects of words, thoughts, and actions be dispelled and compassion bloom in perpetual spring. May we all realize and live the enlightened way together. All Buddhas throughout space and time. All Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, Maha Prajna, Paramita. All harmful acts, words, and thoughts ever committed by me since of old, on account of beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and mind, now I atone for them all. To save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way non-attainable, to save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way non-attainable, to save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way non-attainable.
Thank you very much, everyone, for participating, for your frustrations. I'm gonna move my computer. Oh boy. Would I be visible like this? I think so.
Are you fine with me highlighting you, spotlighting you?
Yeah, do it now so I can change it. I don't want to be looking at myself. That's not a very nice thing. I'm sorry for you guys. I want to be looking at you. Okay. Gallery mode. Perfect. Oh. Okay, let me try to logistically figure out how I'm going to sit here without suffering. Oh my gosh. Oh. I'm officially exhausted, by the way. It's been
I can imagine.
such a physical strain. But Kote, the charcoal worked perfectly fine all the way to the end. It's still burning
great.
nicely. It gave a nice little smoke to the incense. So I've discovered a new thing today that's going to be useful for the rest of the
Perfect.
weeks.
Of the life.
Yeah. Okay, shall we open the sutras first?
Yes, please. The Dharma, incomparably profound and infinitely subtle, is always encountered but rarely perceived. Now we hear, receive, and maintain this. May we realize the Tathagata's true meaning. The Dharma, incomparably profound and infinitely subtle, is always encountered but rarely perceived. Now we see, hear, receive, and maintain this. May we all realize the Tathagata's true meaning. The Dharma, incomparably profound and infinitely subtle, is always encountered but rarely perceived. Now we hear, receive and maintain this. May we all realize the Tathagata's true meaning.
Thank you very much. Well, again, good morning to everyone and Happy New Year. Can you believe it's 2026? It makes no sense whatsoever, but here we go. Okay, I'm going to try to get you closer. I don't know how many of you have the habit of checking the... How do you stay updated? Forum, or do you have the habit of checking the website as well?
Website first for me.
Okay, good. So, did you see the topic for today's talk?
Do you know I didn't?
Oh, okay. Well, the topic for today's talk was drifting pitifully in. What was it? Hold on, I forgot. Drifting pitifully in the whirlwind of birth and death. So, I thought this is much more impactful than what the talk is actually about. So it sounded nice. We're at the end. We're at the end of the year. We just started a brand new year. All of this period of time, usually for everyone, is a time of reflection. Hold on. Okay, thank you. It's a time of reflection. It's a time of pondering the previous year, the coming year. It's a time for resolutions. It's a time for introspection, and a lot comes up in this time of the year. And it's not just us nowadays. It's always been like that. The periods of transition from winter to spring, from, I don't know, summer to fall, the solstices, everything has always been very meaningful to us as humans, as change triggers something in us. And last week, because I had practice in the city, we have a little zendo here. I thought, what could I say that's useful for the practitioners there? What could I find that's fitting for this period of time? And so I went straight to Master Dogen, because that's what we do most of the time. But I went to Master Dogen's poetry. And you cannot fail if you're looking for seasonal texts, seasonal poetry. It's one of those things that you will always find something. And so looking into poems that he might have written at the end of the year or beginning of the new year or beginning of spring, things like that, of course, there were quite a few. But the one that I chose is a poem that he wrote in 1230, I want to say. And that was like 5 years after his great dropping off body-mind experience that he had on Mount Tiantong in China. And this was roughly 3 years after he returned to Japan and started trying to promote and teach and establish a Soto Zen school in Japan. This is also 3 years before he actually established his first monastery, which was Koshoji, in the same area where he was living now. So around the year 1230, Master Dogen had moved into what is probably an abandoned little hermitage temple. It was called Anyoin, I believe, in the area of Fukakusa, and he was living there on his own. It's also the period when he started writing the Shobogenzo. So Bendoa, Talk on Pursuing the Way, was written in this particular context, in this particular period of time, as he was by his lonesome in the area of Fukakusa in this abandoned temple. And so this is to give you context into when he wrote the following poem. And so the poem that he wrote says, drifting pitifully in the whirlwind of birth and death, as if wandering in a dream, in the midst of illusion, I awaken to the true path. There is one more matter I must not neglect, but I need not bother now as I listen to the sound of the evening rain falling on the roof of my temple retreat in the deep grass of Fukakusa. Reading just the beginning of this, drifting pitifully in the whirlwind of birth and death, it made me first go, that's a little dramatic, isn't it, for a Zen master? But at the same time, I thought this is such an expression that's deeply rooted in essential Buddhist teachings. I imagine Master Dogen in his temple retreat, all by himself in Fukakusa. It's night. He's kind of struggling to bring Soto Zen to Japan, fighting the Tendai establishment that does not want him to teach anything different that's allegedly superior. He doesn't know where to begin, doesn't know how to go about it, what to do about it. I assume, I've never been in that situation, but we can imagine. And so pondering, meditating there, not meditating in the sense of sitting zazen, but like pondering life, he comes up with the expression, drifting pitifully in the whirlwind of birth and death. The first thing I think about is this is an expression of the first noble truth that the Buddha taught. What is the first noble truth? The universality of the existence of suffering. That is the first step towards liberation, the Buddha said. Understand that suffering is a reality. It's not just know that there's the truth of existence of suffering. Understand that truth. And so Master Dogen says here, I find myself drifting pitifully in the whirlwind of birth and death. It's nothing but an expression of that realization of, I think I truly see suffering. I understand it because of whatever circumstances he might have had. As he's probably recollecting the journey to China, which was not an easy thing. It's not like you can book Ryanair from Kyoto and it takes you straight to, Tiantong Mountain to Masaruji. It was a life-threatening, a life and death kind of situation. So Master Dogen here acknowledges the reality of, yes, I'm drifting. I'm not swimming. I'm not directing myself. I'm not flying towards a particular place. I'm not in control of the development of life. I'm drifting pitifully in the whirlwind of birth and death. This understanding of the reality of suffering within the early Buddhist teachings had kind of a specific route. Once someone realizes the emptiness of everything, once we realize the true nature, the essence, the reality behind existence, what happens is detachment or letting go. When we realize that whatever we attach ourselves to is not worth clinging to, it's impermanent, it's fragile, it's not a stable foundation. What happens is what in different traditions of Buddhism they might call developing dispassion. This is not something that's foreign to Zen at all. The idea of developing dispassion. The thing is that in Zen, we never operate with one-sided coins. That's not our way of going about understanding things. Our coins have two sides and no side at the same time. And so developing this passion, yes. And before, when Kote was reciting the Sandokai, the identity of relative and absolute, there is one specific line there that precisely deals with this. To be attached to things is primordial illusion. The origin of suffering is clinging, it's attachment. And this text of ours, this Zen text, says to be attached to things, that's the primordial illusion. That's the origin of this pitiful drifting in the whirlwind of birth and death. But then the next line in the Sandokai says, encountering the absolute, it's not yet enlightenment. This is the other side of the coin. Or our Zen way says, okay, you've seen the emptiness of things and you realize that nothing is worth clinging to. You've developed this passion for it. Now you got to let go of this passion. The other side is when you see the emptiness of things, when we see the true nature of things, there's also the understanding of the wholeness, the oneness, the completeness of everything. And that does not require this passion. But at the same time, we cannot be stuck in any of these two extremes. We cannot be clinging to this passion. We cannot be clinging just to the oneness and wholeness. We got to come back to the reality of existence as we experience it now. And so Master Dogen says, as I'm drifting pitifully in this whirlwind of birth and death, as I acknowledge that I'm subject to suffering as well, life is uncontrollable in many, many, many ways. This is as if wandering in a dream. It's a fabricated thing. We fabricate so much delusion that we, reinforce separations and divisions, and this leads to more suffering, and it's like a never-ending cycle. But he says, in the midst of illusion, I awaken to the true path. This is the blending of the two sides of the coin, right? Where do we find awakening? Where do we find Buddha? We don't need to meet Buddha down the road. We don't need to look for Buddha outside of this here. Which is why the famous saying, right? If you meet the Buddha down the road, kill him. It doesn't mean, be violent. It just means if you think there's Buddha outside, if you look for Buddha outside of yourself, that's not it. And so what this reflecting on the passing of time does is it helps them realize and helps us realize that it's in the midst of life as it is, in the midst of our struggles, in the midst of our problems, in the midst of our health issues, our busy lives, our challenging families, our challenging situations, circumstances, in the midst of political struggles and economic struggles, and in the midst of misbehaving children and abusive significant others, whatever it might be, in the midst of all of this, it's where we awaken to the true path. It's where we practice. The broken record self that I am always says that, there is no enlightenment apart from everyday life. And Master Dogen here reflects the same idea. As a matter of fact, in another talk that he gave, which can be found in the Eihei Goroku, maybe, his collection of talks, he gave a talk again at the end of the year and the beginning of spring, And precisely referencing this idea, he says, the sun is setting on this year, and we meet the spring. The causes and conditions of birth and death, how they disturb people. Take up the 1,000 differences and 10,000 distinctions. Make them one. Letting go of subject and object. This is where he clearly says, what does it mean to awaken to the true path? Take the 1,000 differences, 10,000 distinctions, make them one. Let go of subject and object. And then, after saying, in the midst of illusion, I awaken to the true path, he grounds it again. He brings it back to the reality of this particular moment. And he says, there is one more matter I must not neglect. But I need not bother now. Do you want to guess what this one more matter that he must not neglect is? Go ahead, Stefan. What?
I made a little research. It's about Zazen, sitting.
Okay, yes. It's also about saving all sentient beings. It's about bringing Buddhism to true Buddhism to Japan. But yes, ultimately, saving all sentient beings. In Zazen, what do we do? So the same thing. But he brings it back to the reality of the moment. And yes, there is something else that I need to be concerned about. I cannot just rest in this, I awaken to the true path, and now I'm liberated. There is, in Mahayana practice, that's just not a thing. In Mahayana practice, we bring it back to, there is one more matter that I need to be concerned. There's always something else to be concerned with, which is our vows. To save all sentient beings, transform all delusions, enter all Dharma gates, or perceive our reality, and realize the Buddha way. It's never ending. But, he says, I need not bother now as I listen to the sound of the evening rain falling on the roof of my temple retreat in the deep grass of Fukakusan. What he's saying is, look at the beautiful night. Look at this moment in which I am. Let me enjoy this moment. Yes, I have to save all sentient beings. Yes, I have to bring Soto Zen to Japan. Yes, I have to be the greatest teacher of all times. I don't need to be concerned with that right now. I'm already drifting pitifully in the whirlwind of birth and death. Let me enjoy the rain in my tea. And I think that's a beautifully grounded way of expressing the complicated, intricate reality that we exist in every moment. It's not just one thing. And because, poems are a nice thing in this particular context of Zen, and our Japanese ancestors were very prolific in many, many arts. I was also looking at poems by one of my favorite Buddhist nuns. Her name was Rengetsu, or Lotus Moon. And this was a fantastic character. If you ever look into her, you'll be very surprised. She was a woman that suffered tremendously, lost around 5 children, lost her husband, became a nun. She was so beautiful, the stories say, that she had to mutilate her face so she wouldn't be abused by other people. She was a skilled potter, she was a skilled writer, she was a skilled calligrapher, and she was a ninja. You didn't see that coming, did you? She was actually like a proper ninja, like she was a martial artist. So, fantastic, right? So what she did was she would write her little poetry on pottery that she would give or gift to people or sell to people. And so eventually, somehow, I don't even know how this happens. How does someone go around Japan and collect all the pottery that this one nun made? But apparently, it's a thing. So she wrote her poetry focused on the different seasons. And there's one poem, or there's a couple of them, but I want to read one for you that's tied into precisely this thing that Master Dogen also does, which is blend points of view. She says, I count all days remaining until spring arrives. But I know that I will greet the new year a little more stooped. Again, I count off the days remaining until spring arrives. I'm hopeful, right? There's something coming. There's a change that's going to be happening. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. You know, right now it's cold. Probably her hut was cold. The ground was cold. It was hard to get firewood. Who knows the struggles in winter for this woman that was on her own. I count off the days, so she's hopeful. But, grounding herself, I know that I will greet the new year a little more stooped. I'm drifting pitifully in this whirlwind of birth and death. I'm growing old. I'm changing. I'm impermanent. She reflects on the passing of time the same way we reflect on the passing of time, but she does it holding lightly both perspectives, I think. And in another poem, she says, clearing out the dust and grime in my heart as well, I try to make everything spotless at the end of the year. Imagine her clearing the soot out of her stove or whatever she was using for heating. And she says, clearing out the dust and grime in my heart as well, I try to make everything spotless at the end of the year. It's not a mental thing that she does, but rather deep in her work, in her everyday activity of clearing the soot, because otherwise you cannot use your stove anymore. In the midst of that, she's deeply pouring herself into the practice. The same way Master Dogen describes it in his text. So the point, I think, that I want to make here, and that they make as well, is not that we're drifting pitifully in the whirlwind of birth and death, which is a reality, but rather that the awakening, the marvelous, the spectacular, the special, the magic, whatever you want to call it, is here in the difficulty of this existence. It is not separate from here. And we can always ground ourselves in the reality of things as they are, the same way we do in Zazen, and not just blindly look at one side of the coin, but remember that in Zen, the coin has, well, Jundo, what does Jundo call it? The two sides of the no-sided coin, something like that, right? And then we navigate, and then we drift, maybe not pitifully, in this whirlwind of birth and death, which is unavoidable. So yeah, find the marvelous in every experience throughout this 2026. Find the Buddha here and not down the road. And I'm going to stop here. Thank you. I do, however, expect, and I don't expect, but I wish that if you have your own comments, ideas, thoughts, if there was anything about these particular verses, if there's anything that stood out to you, you verbalize it. That's the whole point of this.
Thank you for that one.
Thank you very much.
But it always brings back to the same point. A lot of the old masters had much more simple lives than we have. And I've always wanted to, wonderful idea to put Dogen in 2026. What would he make of this? Would he just switch off his phone, do you think? Would he turn off all the electronic devices and just listen to the rain? Or would he, like all of us, be drawn to the world that we just can't avoid? You know, I don't know. I mean, how do we then deal with all of that? Because suddenly it's not just the rain on the roof. It is everything that we get bombarded with every day.
That's a great observation. Yeah. I think On a personal level, I understand that their lives were different and the conditions were different. That was the reality of what he was in. I don't have Tendai monks trying to burn down my place. I don't have a whole establishment of Japanese temple priests trying to get rid of me and kill me. And I most definitely do not have the experience of the years on Tiantong Mountain under the guidance of Rujing slippers flying across the Zendo. Is my situation more challenging than his? I don't know. But the lesson that I take from it is there's always something more to do. I don't need to be concerned about it right now. So what's happening right now? What's the reality of where I am right now? And what are my choices? That's how I look at it, right? What am I concerned with? And does it need to be right now? What is the rain falling on my roof at this very moment? I'm going to tell you what the rain falling on my roof is. It's here in my ankle. Anything else? Come on. Don't be shy. Well, that's not the point of this particular thing.
I can't help. I had the whole time. It's. I'm not saying it to contradict you, but the whole time I've had a line of Master Dogen's Uji in mind. His "Don't think with regret that your birth and death is in any way different from that of the mountains and waters." So the absolute perspective to the relative one.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny that the same mouth that said that comes and says, as he's drinking his tea, look at me here, drifting pitifully.
Yeah, I mean, back at those sides of the coin, right? It's and wisdom is maybe seeing that there is no coin.
I always had trouble mentally visualizing what a no-sided coin looks like. Anything else that stands out for you from this particular expression of reality that Master Dogen tries to convey in this, or Rengetsu, as a matter of fact? What is your approach? Do you find yourselves pondering the passing of life and the imminence of death when these particular moments throughout the year happen? Do you find yourselves in the middle of that thought ever?
I think it's an inescapable constant, to be honest, particularly when you get older. I'm in my 60s, so we are progressing quite nicely. One of my colleagues of a similar age says we're walking through Sniper Alley at the moment. And that's really good because ultimately something could happen. Your foot, a great example. 1 minute fine, next minute not. And I think that's a constant. Whether we pass, it's more relevant when we pass through the seasons, I don't know. I do actually always find this time of year very reflective because I replan. My job is very structured. So we have a real reset in January, and that is, you have to do that. We start again. We start the year again. But yeah, I think that you can't ever escape this impermanence. But recognizing it is super important, that it isn't the be all and end all. I love the idea of a no-sided coin, by the way. I'll be thinking about that all day. It's a 4D. It's in 4D, by the way. It doesn't exist in our 3D world. It's a 4D object. There you go. Think of it like that.
My brain cannot. My brain cannot. Yeah, it's funny that the idea of time, when we ponder it as this linear thing, I think there's so much that we ignore and miss out on when we ponder time as this started there, going there, drifting pitifully. But the beauty is also in understanding, I think, that this very moment contains both the past and the present. So what do I do with that realization? How do I function within that realization? When I don't fixate it, when I don't try to encapsulate it in this small idea of linear, then to ponder life, to ponder time, I think takes on a very different dimension. Any other observations? Anything coming up? Coach, how are you doing with time?
3 minutes to 11.
Well, I think we did a good job with that. Maybe we should stop here then, if there's nothing else that's coming up for you. Yeah? Okay, let's close the sutras then.
May the merits of these teachings penetrate into each thing in all places, so that we and every sentient being together may realize the Buddha's way. All Buddhas throughout space and time, all Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, Maha, Prajna, Paramita.
Well, thank you very much to all of you and to you, Kote, for chanting us through today. Let me unfold myself because, oh my goodness. What's on the schedule for us? 2 weeks from now, I thought about it as I was reciting the ROBE verse. I thought about it. 2 weeks from now, some of you will be receiving your rakusus, and 3 weeks from now, you will all be involved in putting them on during the Zazenkai, and that thing just made me so happy that I almost forgot the words. As I was chanting, I thought, oh, it's going to be so wonderful. 3 weeks from now, because 2 weeks from now is going to be emotional, but 3 weeks from now is going to be wonderful as everyone gets to put it on their heads. But in the meantime, we continue with the study of the precepts. So we have 2 more precept discussions left, the ones on Wednesdays. If anyone hasn't been to one of those and you can make it there, it's absolutely wonderful, spectacular, and I hope you can have that experience. So you're more than invited to participate. Later today, the Sit for Peace, I think, 3 o'clock Central European 2 for Mokuseki, I think, right? And that's it. And now I will let you go. Have a good day. Start off the year well. And, hold things like this gently throughout the year. See what that feels like. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Have a
Bye.
good day.
Thank you. Have a great day.
A good day.